Let me show you how to set up daily recurring reminders using a free tool or service called Zapier and have it connect to your Google Calendar, your Google Spreadsheets, your email inbox, your phone, your text, and more. What we're talking about is this tool called Zapier, which is a free online service, and basically every 15 minutes it will run and connect things called triggers to other things called actions. And I use this a lot to propagate my content out or automate my social media. For example, a trigger can be when I post a new video to YouTube, and then the action that it takes after I post it is to then post to a WordPress blog and then share it all around on Facebook. So one new feature that I discovered on how to use this tool is as a self reminder service and run a task every day at 9 a.m. So you might decide that you want to do the same task every morning. Maybe you need to make that phone call, or maybe you need to write a quick blog post or write all the blog posts for that week, and you just don't want to have a bunch of recurring reminders, or you don't want to fill up your calendar with stuff. It's a situation where in the morning you want this appointment to show up on your calendar, you do it, you delete the appointment. That way you don't have just a flood of all this stuff. Well, this tool called Zapier will allow you to run a task that will automatically place this calendar item in your Google Calendar. And if you happen to have your Google Calendar synchronized to your phone and tablet and things like that, then that's pretty cool. And what we're going to do here is just say, run a daily reminder at 9 o'clock in the morning in my time zone, and to place a calendar item to, for example, deliver a voiceover to a client, deliver the same voice or a new voiceover every day, but it's something I'm going to do every weekday, for example. And I mean, in this case, it could be just to write a quick blog post, like we said, or just do some kind of repeat task, but you don't flood and fill the calendar with a bunch of stuff. And just to get crazy and fun, let's also have it where at 9 o'clock every morning, put an item in Google Calendar, but also shoot me an email, shoot me a text, call me on the phone, do lots of cool stuff like that, and we can always delete them later. And then once we get the hang of that, let me show you how to even automate this to your employees or outsourced workers and make it where if you edit a Google spreadsheet, and which is basically an online version of Microsoft Excel, if you edit that Google spreadsheet, you can create a calendar item for an employee to check it out, and also email and text them, or make it where if you, for example, record a lot of videos and you've outsourced your video editing, you could make it potentially where if you record a video and put it on a shared Google Drive or a shared Dropbox folder or something like that, then it will email your employee to process the video and upload. So it's all about connecting triggers to actions. And the first trigger and action we're going to set up here is this daily reminder service. So I have an account at Zapier.com. That's Zapier.com. I'm going to log in, and in my dashboard I already have a few different zaps, they call it, that trigger actions. This one is where if there's a new video on the Lance Thomas Shiro YouTube channel, it posted on my Facebook page. If there's a new video on my Robert Plank YouTube channel, posted on my Facebook page. And then if anything is posted to that same Facebook page, then it duplicates that post along my other Facebook pages and my wall and Twitter. So that's kind of how a lot of these zaps work. And what we're going to do is say make a new zap, and there's a bunch of different things, and basically you search in the search box the service that you want to trigger, right? And so there's a bunch here, and what we're looking for is, they call it, there's no reminder, but the one we're looking for is the schedule one. And I believe if we just type in Zapier, we'll get the built-in one. So you can see that we can connect Twitter, WordPress, Facebook, Gmail, stuff like that. But if we search Zapier, these are the built-in ones where if there's like an incoming email, or we can shoot out an email, or if someone's RSS feed on their blog updates, for example, we could say search or monitor these RSS feeds, and if there are changes to them, then email us those changes or post those changes on our own blog, stuff like that. The one we're going to use is the schedule by Zapier, which is the one that will run a task every week, day, or month. So we're going to say that every day, so we just said trigger Zapier schedule. Every day we're going to run this, save and continue. And then we have to just choose the time of day, and then is it going to be on weekends or not. So first of all, I click and check my time zone settings, and I'm going to make sure, okay, so I live on the West Coast, so my time zone setting is set to Pacific time. Awesome. Let's make it every 7 a.m. Then we're going to run this reminder, and we're not going to trigger it on weekends. Okay, continue. Great. Now that means every day at 7 a.m. it's going to run something. That's what triggers it. Now the action decides what actually happens. Click continue, and then we need to choose the action. So for example, I mean, you could do something silly like send you the same email every day or post to Facebook every day or something like that. What we're going to do is search for Google Calendar. Here we go, Google Calendar. Left click on that. And then what we're going to do is choose, so they can have new detailed event or quick add event. And we'll say quick add event, and I'll show you the reason for that in a second. Click save and continue. Connect Google Calendar and say yes, I want to allow Zapier to Google Calendar. And then we'll say this is Robert Plank Calendar. I always like to name these so I know what the heck I connected these to. Now we need to say, first of all, what the calendar we're going to use in Google Calendar, and then the name of the event. And it's important that, and the reason why I chose the quick add event is because this is the way that we can specify the time that the calendar appointment appears. Because think about it, if this task runs at 9 a.m. and you say add it to calendar, well, you need to tell it what time the calendar appointment will be for. You assume that, well, if it runs at Monday at 9 a.m., it's going to make a calendar appointment for Monday at 9 a.m. Well, not necessarily. So we're going to say this runs at Monday, and then we'll say like deliver voiceover today 9 a.m. All right. So first of all, we have to choose which calendar, and we give it a second to load our choices here. And seems to be frozen here. All right, so while that's frozen, let me show you what Google Calendar is to make sure we're all on the same page. Go to google.com/calendar. Oh, this looks like this crapped out on us. Let me refresh. So basically, Google Calendar, let me resize. So Google Calendar, here we see the things we have going on. And right now I've hidden all my calendars from you, but let me go and click on this little triangle and say create new calendar. So basically, if you have a Gmail account, you can click on this little grid and calendar will be in here. So if you, I mean, have a free one if you have a Gmail, YouTube, whatever account. You also have a Google Calendar account. So I'm going to go to today's date, and I'll say my calendars, create new calendar. We might say, all right, the new calendar is called employees, and then we'll say share with people. So then we can say, you know, my employee at robertplank.com. We can list the email addresses of people we want to share this calendar with. All right, so let me just finish making this calendar, and you see that now it's added this employees calendar, and we can say make it green. So basically, we can create different, whoops, I want to undo my own calendar. We can, whoa, I'm not sure. All right, so that is on the wrong calendar. So we're just showing the employees calendar. We can left click and say to the employees calendar, we can say, you know, meet with Robert. Boom. Now that's added a appointment in this calendar, and anyone who we've shared the calendar with, well, now they get an email and a pop-up and things like that when this appointment arrives. So that's first of all how you create a new Google Calendar, share it with others, and then this is what this means once we restart this. Okay, cool. This is what they were talking about when they ask us for which specific Google Calendar are we going to connect this to, and for some reason they're erroring out. So let me start from scratch. It's good to review it anyway. So delete this Zap, make new Zap, and so we're going to search Zapier schedule every day at 7 a.m., not on weekends, continue. Now Google Calendar, new quick add event, save and continue. Yes, this one we already connected to, and drop down the Google Calendar. Come on, Zapier, and let's see if it lists us. It's supposed to list the calendars we have in our account, and literally the only two things. Yeah, this is not working for us for whatever reason. Aha, there we go. So I just had to. Maybe it's because my screen was too. I think my screen was too not zoomed out enough. Okay, so let me give it a second, and I need to actually zoom out for this to drop down for some reason. I guess it has to fit in the window. Okay, anyway, here's my list of calendars. We want the one that's employees. Okay, so it's going to add a new item on the employees calendar. And then now that we're on that, now we just put this in the format like this says. We can say deliver voiceover at 8 a.m. today. So it's really important that we have the time and the today, because this will run at 7 a.m. every morning, and then it'll make sure to add this. And so here's what's kind of cool is we could even create two of these events or two of these actions and say deliver voiceover at 8 a.m. today, and then create another action that says deliver voiceover at 8 p.m. today. So every morning you could have it create a morning reminder and an evening reminder, but let's keep it simple and just say at 7 o'clock a.m. when this runs, it'll tell us at 8 a.m. to deliver this voiceover. And so we're going to put it on the employee's calendar, click continue, and then we're about to run the test. Every time you create a new Zap, you run the test. So here is we can go to more, refresh. Here is the current date of the green employee's calendar. There's nothing scheduled for this day. Okay. Now we continue and test, let it run it, switch back to Google Calendar, go to more, refresh, and cool, now this deliver voiceover magically appears. And if we've hooked this up to our phone and things like that, I think that we will get a reminder when this comes up. And if we then deliver the voiceover, we can left click and delete that, and then we know that we have completed that task. Or I mean, you could if you shared this calendar with specific employees, then you could just check the calendar and then see if this reminder is still there, or if they've completed what you've told them to and they've cleared it. Kind of cool. Well, let's finish this, and we'll call this Zap daily voiceover reminder, and then we'll turn it on, see it on the dashboard. And this will run every day at 7 a.m. We can go to run to test this out again, wait for it to run. Okay, and I don't think it's going to run because it's not 7 a.m. Okay, so then I want to add a couple other things here, and let me go. So we're going to add an event to the calendar, and then let's also send an email. So let's type in Zapier again for this other action, email by Zapier, the only option there. And then, so we just have to fill in the to email address, the subject line, and then the body of the message. And I mean, that's everything. So we can say to, I'm going to put in my email address, deliver voiceover, please. Did you deliver the voiceover yet? And then in this little plus area, this is where there are fields to plug in, but there's nothing really that we can plug in there. Just like the day of the week, the current date and time. We don't need any of that stuff. Just did you deliver the voiceover yet? So I mean, and potentially you could put in your own name and email an employee at the same time of day every morning. But let's just try this out. Shoot an email to ourselves, deliver voiceover, please, and continue and test it. So we've run the test, and I'm going to go in another tab here and open up my email account, my Gmail, and it looks like it's already there. And if I go and see this, now I see subject line, deliver voiceover, please. Did you deliver the voiceover yet? Now it has this ugly no reply at Zapier because we did not customize the from name and address, but still it got the job done. It shot us an email saying deliver voiceover, please. That's a good reminder. Now let's go and add another step here. And also, let me also send a text. So I type in Zapier, SMS by Zapier, all right? And we'll send a text to myself. So connect a new account. And once this loads, I think it'll show a thing to put in our phone number and confirm. So let me put in my phone number, send the PIN number to me. Let me turn off my silent. Okay, Phone's ringing. I'll answer the phone here. And
your PIN number is 99092. Your PIN number is 9.
okay, so we've got the PIN. So now we've said, and they've also texted us. Okay, so Robert phone, save and continue. And then make sure to deliver your voiceover today. Continue. Test it out. And, whoops. Let me lock it to get the full effect. Retest it. Phone is locked. And come on. I think it might not be doing it because it already did it. But I guess you're going to have to take my word for it that it sent me a text, but I was viewing the text window, so it's not going to make a noise. Okay, so we've sent a text. Let me add another step, and then let me say Zapier, and then the final thing we're going to do in here is, I believe, there's a phone. Oh, there we go. There's a text message. Okay. Make sure to deliver your voiceover today. We're going to say SMS again, and this time call phone, Robert's phone, and then we'll say, hi, Robert Plank. Make sure to deliver your voiceover today. Have a great one. And then the voice, we'll use the woman's voice. Oh, geez, phone's blowing up with texts. Okay, so now let's test this one. So continue and test. Okay, got it. Phone's ringing. Put it on speaker.
Hi,
Hello.
Robert Plank. Make sure to deliver your voiceover today. Have a great one.
Cool. Say finish, see it on your dashboard, and now we've created a Zap where every day at 7 a.m. it's going to, and there's a way to pop it out, it's going to do the following. So first of all, every day at 7 a.m. it's going to add an item to our employees calendar saying deliver voiceover, and it's going to set that new calendar item at 8 a.m. So what's important here is to choose with Google Calendar, choose the quick add event, and then have it be the title and then the time and then today to make sure that it's today's item. Then it's also going to send an email to me saying deliver voiceover. It's also going to send a text to me saying deliver voiceover. It's also going to call me on the phone saying deliver voiceover. So it might be overkill, but you get the idea. We can always delete different things in this schedule. So far, so good. And now, like I promised, the final quick bonuses I wanted to show for you today is, first of all, let's say that you edit a spreadsheet. Maybe you have a list of people that you want an employee to call or something. Well, you can create basically an online version of a spreadsheet using Google Sheets, and then you can set a Zap so that every time you edit that spreadsheet, it will create a calendar item for an employee to check it out. And if you want to make it shoot them an email or something, it could do that too. But let's keep this bonus simple. If you edit a Google Sheet, it will create a calendar reminder for them to check it out. So what we can do here is say, go back to the dashboard, and we're going to make a new Zap, and then we'll say Google Sheets. Okay. Now, I guess we need to make a Google spreadsheet. So let me go to my google.com/drive. Go to Google Drive, and then let's say new Google Sheet, and then we'll call this spreadsheet customers. Let's see, customers to call. Okay, and we'll say date, name, product purchased, phone number, notes. Okay, and then just fill this in, and this is automatically saved. Okay, then we'll say if there's a new row, yeah, let's make it where so we can make it one of two ways, right? We can say that if we add a new row, that signals someone to Actually, let's make it either way, right? If we add a new row or we change a row, so it looks like updated means new or updated. So if we change the spreadsheet in any way, it will add a reminder for someone to look at it. So update new row, save this, connect an account, pops up. Yes, I want to hook this up to my Google account, log in if you need to. Save and continue. And then we'll choose the spreadsheet. So let's give it a second to do this, and hopefully it doesn't error out on us like it did before. I might need to zoom out in my browser for this to work. It looks like even though it errored out, we have a list of at least the most recent spreadsheets. So we have customers to call, and then worksheet. So basically, if you don't know what this is, it means that we have a spreadsheet here, and then there's a little tab here. And usually you only have the one little tab. So by default, this is sheet 1. So just, even though it looks scary, like, oh no, what's the worksheet? Just use this drop down, and then it's just the only available option to you, sheet 1. Anytime we add a row or edit customers to call, then it will have this sheet 1. And then so then we can make it narrow down by column. We can make an any column. So then we can continue looking for a spreadsheet row. Couldn't find a row. Okay, so maybe we need to put some thing in here. Customer 1, 555, 1212. All right. So let me try again. Continue. All right, test successful. So there's no action yet, right? And we're going to add it by clicking the plus sign, and then this will commit some kind of action. Before continuing, let me just say that if I switch back to the Google Sheet, we can say file share, and just like with the Google Calendar, we add in email addresses of employees that we want to share this with, and we'll just say, whoa, that guy actually exists. But we put in people's email addresses and then allow them to edit that spreadsheet. Okay, so this way, when we make changes here, then they will be able to, they will not only get notified, but they will also be able to edit it. And you might be wondering, well, what if I edit it and then they go and make some changes? We don't want it to double notify them. We'll get to that also. So right now, just to keep it simple, if we update the spreadsheet, then we will search Google Calendar, and then we will quick add an event, that calendar, and then we can say that I want to put it on the employee's calendar, and then check on customer list at 3 p.m. So I believe that this will put this at the next time 3 p.m. is there. Let's just check this out. Continue and test. And we'll check the calendar on google.com/calendar. Okay, so now if we update this spreadsheet, it will put on a calendar item for our employee at the next time, at the next 3 p.m. window. Awesome. And I don't think you can say right now, but there you go. That will put in a Google Calendar item at 3 p.m. I mean, we could get crazy, but let's not get crazy. One final thing I want to do is I want to also say, let me say like completed, right? Or called or something. So what we can do is we can say, well, I'm going to fill up this spreadsheet and I'm going to make sure to leave this completed column blank. And then once they call them, then they can say yes or something like that, right? But me as the big boss, I'm going to leave this completed row blank. So what that means is that we can create a thing called a filter, and that when I add to the spreadsheet, I'm going to make sure completed is blank, and when completed is blank, it will put an item on the calendar. Then when that employee goes and updates this row, but they fill something in with this completed area, then it will not post to the calendar. Let me go, and when we say, here's the trigger, and we can put a plus sign between the trigger and the action, so plus filter, and then we can say that so when they update the spreadsheet row, then we can say that the completed column, okay, so the completed column here will be let's see. Exactly matches, and I hope it lets us just save something empty there. So let's see. I think that, okay, so if the completed field exactly matches empty, then it will run this zap. And so if something is filled into the completed column, it will not run that calendar reminder. Okay, so we'll continue that. And then now, so what we've set up, now that we kind of are getting a better handle on zaps, the trigger is if we update this particular spreadsheet, any row in it, as long as the completed field, the completed column is empty, then it will add an item to Google Calendar. Go back to our, go back to our zaps, and we need to name this. So let's name this to Google Sheets task or something. Make sure to set that on, and then awesome. And then finally, just a real quick one, let's say if we add a file in Google Drive, then we'll email an employee a reminder to process a video and upload it. Now this should be child's play to us, because we can say, go to the dashboard, make a new zap, and we'll say Google Drive. And so, I mean, if you have Google Drive, if you have Dropbox, whatever, you can make those trigger a new zap every 15 minutes. So Google Drive, and then we'll choose new file and folder, save and continue, connect to our account again, and allow. All right, Google Drive account, rename it to Robert Google Drive, save and continue, and then a folder. So we have some folders in here. So let me go back to my, let me close this down, Google Drive, and we'll say new folder, employee or unprocessed videos. How's that? Unprocessed videos. All right, now we have a folder in our shared Google Drive, and we can right click this and share, and then do employee@gmail.com, whatever, and I think we'll make it where they can edit and all that stuff. All right, so now they can edit that whole folder in there and all that good stuff. Awesome. Now, the only trick to Google Drive, I believe, is that if you already have files in the folder and then you share it, you have to also share the files in that folder. But I believe that if you share the folder first, then if you upload files in there, whether you do it through the browser or have the Google Drive app installed on your computer and just put videos in there and it will synchronize, I think they'll automatically be shared if you use Google Drive. Anyway, let me go here and we'll say load more choices, and we're going to choose unprocessed videos folder, continue, and there are no files in there, so let me add one, and I'll just say new file upload, and let me browse, and let me just put a item in there. Okay, so we've uploaded, we've got this picture in unprocessed videos. Try again, continue, we've got a file in there. Awesome. Continue, and then what action are we going to take? We'll just say email, send an email, send it to our employee or whatever. We can say new video uploaded. Be sure to edit and upload the video right away, and continue, and there we go. Continue and test, and it will shoot us a message here. New video uploaded. So what we've just set up here is where if we add a file to a specific folder in Google Drive, but this could also be Dropbox or something like that, then it will shoot an email to someone notifying them that we have added something in this folder. And what your employee could do here, and we can say a video reminder, your employee could go ahead and process and upload the video and then delete it out of that Google Drive folder. That way that you know it's done. Lots of cool things you can do with this Zapier tool. Reminds yourself to run a task by adding a task to Google Calendar, sending you a text message, phone call, all that, or even have it triggered by Google Spreadsheets or Google Drive. Lots of interesting stuff. I'm Robert Plank from robertplank.com. That's how to automate your reminders and your Google Drive, Calendar, Gmail, all that together just with this free tool called Zapier that connects triggers to actions every 15 minutes. Thanks for watching.